the last second you swear you've lived this exact moment before. The same lighting, the same tone in someone's voice, the same tiny detail in the corner of the room that feels so familiar it almost hurts. And for a heartbeat, your brain tries to convince you that you already know what will happen next, that you've been here, done this, survived it, even though you also know, logically, there's no way. That clash between deep recognition and clear reality is what déjà vu really is. Not a message from the universe, not a glitch in the simulation. Psychologists and neuroscientists usually describe déjà vu as a mismatch between familiarity and memory. Familiarity is fast, automatic, and emotional. It's that instant feeling of, I know this, that can happen before you can explain why. Memory is slower and more precise. It's the ability to pull up details. Where you were, what happened, who was there, what you said. Déjà vu happens when familiarity fires strongly, but memory can't provide the evidence to back it up. So you get a strange experience, a confident feeling without a clear source. And your mind, which hates uncertainty, tries to fill the gap. To understand why this is so powerful, imagine your brain as a prediction engine. All day it scans patterns, compares them to stored experiences, and quietly estimates what comes next. Most of the time, this is invisible. You walk into a cafe and you don't need to think that there will be a counter, menus, sounds, people moving in certain ways. Your brain already expects it. But sometimes, a new situation matches an old pattern so closely that your recognition system lights up like you've returned to a place you've already been. The twist is, it's not the place you recognize. It's the structure of the experience, the layout, the rhythm, the combination of cues that resembles something stored deep in your mind. One of the most convincing explanations is a brief timing issue between different memory circuits. Your temporal lobe, especially areas linked to recognition and memory tagging, can generate a strong, familiar signal extremely quickly. Your prefrontal cortex, which is more involved in analyzing context and verifying reality, takes a fraction longer to confirm what's true. If the familiarity signal arrives early and intense, your conscious mind receives it as a fact. This is known. Then your rational system catches up and says, wait, there's no actual memory here. That tiny gap creates the eerie feeling. It's not that your brain is broken. It's that your brain is doing two jobs at once. Feeling and checking. A useful way to picture it is like watching a movie where the audio is slightly ahead of the video. The sound comes first, and your brain tries to make sense of the mismatch. Déjà vu is similar. The feeling of recognition arrives before the proof of recognition. The mind hates loose ends, so it creates tension, almost like a mental itch. That's why the sensation can feel electric, or even slightly unsettling, because it forces your awareness to notice the machinery behind your perception. Another theory focuses on split perception. Sometimes you take in a scene twice, but in two different ways. The first impression is weak. Maybe you were distracted, tired, or your attention was divided. The second impression is clearer. When your brain processes it again, it feels like repetition, even though you don't consciously recall the first pass. Think about walking into a room while checking your phone. You glanced up, saw shapes and colors, then looked back down. A moment later, you look up fully and take the room in. Your recognition system says, "We've seen this." Your conscious mind says, "No, we haven't." And boom, déjà vu. This is why déjà vu often happens during moments of distraction, stress, or mental overload. When attention is fragmented, your brain builds partial snapshots instead of full memories. Familiarity doesn't require a detailed record. It only needs enough pattern overlap to trigger. In contrast, full recall requires the brain to have properly encoded the moment in the first place. If encoding was weak, you can't retrieve a clear memory, but you can still feel familiarity. That's like smelling a perfume that reminds you of someone, but you can't immediately name who. The recognition is there, but the story is missing. Now add one more ingredient: similarity. Déjà vu spikes when a new environment has a structure that resembles something you've encountered before, even if the details are different. This is where the Gestalt effect shows up. Your mind recognizes the overall pattern rather than the exact object. You might enter a hotel hallway in a city you've never visited, but it matches the layout of a dormitory you lived in years ago. Same angle of the corridor, similar lighting, doors spaced in a familiar rhythm. Your brain doesn't need the exact place to be the same. It only needs the blueprint to feel the same. This is why people often report déjà vu while traveling, exploring new neighborhoods, entering unfamiliar buildings, or having new conversations that feel like old ones. The brain is constantly compressing reality into templates. The more you move through novel situations, the more chances those templates overlap. It's almost like your mind is saying, "This fits an old map," even if you've never stood on this exact ground before. There's also a prediction angle that makes déjà vu feel almost supernatural. Sometimes the sensation comes with a strange confidence that you know what happens next. But what you're actually feeling is heightened expectation, not prophecy. When familiarity is high, your brain assumes the rest of the scene will unfold according to a known script. It's like hearing the intro of a song and feeling you know the chorus before it starts. In déjà vu, your mind can generate a guess about the next second of reality because it believes it's replaying something. If your guess happens to match what comes next, the experience feels magical. If it doesn't, the déjà vu fades quickly, and you forget that you were wrong. Here's a real-life example. You walk into a classroom, a cafe, or an office for the first time. Someone says a phrase in a certain tone, and suddenly you feel the entire moment is a repeat. You're convinced that in a second the person will laugh, or a phone will ring, or someone will enter the room. And sometimes you're right. But you're right the same way you're right when you predict that traffic will stop near a red light. You're not seeing the future. You're reading the pattern. Another example happens in conversations. Maybe you're talking to a friend and they start explaining a problem, and you feel like you already know every sentence they're about to say. That can happen because your brain recognizes the emotional structure. The same kind of conflict, the same kind of personality, the same kind of stress. Your mind knows the script because you've heard versions of it before. Déjà vu in this case is your empathy and pattern recognition doing a fast match. So what's happening inside the memory system? Your brain has multiple layers of memory processing. One layer is about familiarity, a quick signal that something resembles stored experience. Another layer is recollection, the rich, detailed retrieval of an actual event. Déjà vu is what it feels like when familiarity fires without recollection. It's like your brain shouting yes, while your memory files are blank. And because humans are narrative creatures, we tend to interpret that yes as meaning something bigger than it is. Interestingly, déjà vu is often reported more frequently in younger people and tends to decrease with age. There are a few possible reasons. Younger brains are constantly forming new memories and rapidly comparing patterns across fresh experiences. They also tend to move through more new environments, school, relationships, travel, social circles, creating more opportunities for overlapping templates. As life becomes more routine, the brain experiences fewer, almost familiar combinations because you're not encountering as many new scenes that resemble old ones in surprising ways. Plus, as we age, the way memory networks balance familiarity and recall can shift. Another factor is sleep and fatigue. When you're tired, the brain's attention and encoding systems become less stable. You might take in information less cleanly, creating more partial impressions, which can increase the chance of the split perception effect. Stress can do something similar. Under stress, your mind is scanning for threat, prioritizing speed over detail. That can make recognition systems trigger quickly, while careful checking lags behind. The result is more moments where your brain sends out a strong signal and your conscious mind has to catch up. Now, people sometimes worry, is déjà vu a bad sign? Most of the time, no. For most people, occasional déjà vu is considered a normal mental experience. It's a side effect of a brain that constantly monitors reality, predicts patterns, and checks memory. In fact, the strange awareness you feel during déjà vu, this sudden sense that something is off, suggests your cognitive monitoring is active. Your brain is not just generating familiarity. It's also noticing the mismatch. That awareness is part of what keeps your mind grounded. The key difference between normal déjà vu and something that might need professional attention is the context and frequency. If it's occasional, brief, and doesn't disrupt your life, it's usually just a harmless mental phenomenon. If someone experiences it extremely often, alongside major confusion, blackouts, or intense disorientation, that could be worth discussing with a medical professional. But for the average person, déjà vu is simply the mind being a little too fast for its own comfort. There's also an emotional layer to déjà vu that makes it feel meaningful. Familiarity is not just cognitive, it's emotional. When something feels familiar, it can bring a sense of safety, nostalgia, or curiosity. Even if you can't recall why, your body reacts as if it recognizes the scene. That's why déjà vu can feel warm and comforting for some people, and eerie or unsettling for others. The emotion depends on what kind of template your brain matched. If the matched pattern resembles a safe memory, you feel calm. If it resembles uncertainty, you feel tension. So what should you do when déjà vu happens? The simplest response is not to fight it. Label it. This is déjà vu. That small act of naming reduces the mystery, and your prefrontal cortex regains control. Then ground yourself in details. Look at 3 specific objects and describe them to yourself. Notice the temperature, the sound, the texture of something nearby. This helps your brain encode the moment more clearly, turning the vague familiarity into a real memory. In a way, you're telling your mind, okay, if you want this to be real memory, let's record it properly. You can also treat déjà vu as a peek behind the curtain. It reminds you that your reality is not a perfect recording. It's a construction. You don't experience the world directly. You experience the brain's best guess of the world, updated in real time. Déjà vu is what it feels like when that guessing machine briefly shows its seams. It's the mind admitting, I process patterns more than facts, and letting you notice it for a second. And maybe that's why déjà vu has fascinated people for centuries. Because it's not just a weird feeling. It's a moment where you feel your own consciousness working. You feel the tension between instinct and logic, between recognition and proof, between the speed of your emotions and the precision of your reasoning. It's one of the rare experiences that makes you aware of how your mind builds certainty. So the next time it happens, when the room looks too familiar, when the moment feels like a replay, remember what it really is. Not a prophecy, not a supernatural message, just a powerful overlap of perception, pattern recognition, and memory monitoring. Your brain is doing what it was designed to do. Compare the present to the past as fast as possible so you can navigate the future. And sometimes, in that speed, it creates a beautiful illusion that feels like time folding in on itself. If you've ever had a strong déjà vu moment, you're not broken. You're human. Your brain is a prediction machine with an incredible memory system, and occasionally those systems don't synchronize perfectly for a second. But that split second is enough to make you feel like reality just blinked.